Hi guys, today we talk again with Frank Schmitt. He is independent researcher in Egypt. Hi Frank.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good, everything good. We're really glad to see you. So today we want to talk about pyramids and mastabas. What's connection between these two structures, how they evolved and everything. Frank, you can tell us your opinion.
Oh, my opinion, yeah. I mean, first of all, I have to say my opinion is an opinion, right? It's not like I know anything or something. But we were having this last time. So basically, I was wondering myself, actually, since lots of structures are called pyramids, and the one that is in the background of your picture is pretty obvious because of the shape, and everybody knows what the pyramid is. But when it comes to mastabas, people think of these rectangular, flat structures, and since I visited almost every pyramid, I see a very strong connection between both of the structures. And again, I have to say, we have to move a bit away from the Great Pyramid and the most amazing building of all of them, because it's so special, and there's so many theories and so many aspects about it. But many other pyramids are like similar, but you don't see this typical pyramid structure on top. And the same with the mastabas. But once you go down in a shaft or something, things look like pretty much alike. I mean, last time you mentioned the Mastaba pharaoh in Saqqara. And this is a very good example, because I mean, I haven't been down because it's restricted and it's very problematic to get inside. But I saw some videos from people who went inside, and you obviously have been. And so when you go down this shaft, you have the same way of building. You have shafts built out of granite. You have rooms out of granite. The way of building is like with huge blocks. And even if you have other structures like pyramids from like in South Saqqara, for example, a similar layout and similar way of building, all with like these huge blocks, and they didn't use any mortar or something like that. And the angles are pretty much alike or similar. And the thing is that I also want to include this phenomenon of the shafts, of these square vertical shafts that lead down under the limestone plateau. And sometimes pyramids have these shafts too. Like, for example, the step pyramid in Saqqara is a good example where you have this kind of shaft. And in Zawiyat El Aryan, you have this kind of thing. And I'm not sure about the Mastaba pharaoh, actually. I haven't been on top, but there are many pyramids where you have this square shaft leading down. And that makes me wonder, like, so what's actually the difference between a mastaba and a pyramid? Because, of course, if you take the shape away, there are many similarities. And actually, one of my speculations, and I just don't have just one. It's like a mixture of many, and sometimes one theory moves a bit to the background because I think like maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's not that way. Others have more value at this moment, and I was thinking like one thing, and this is pure speculation, of course. Since there are so many shafts, I had this one thought that maybe these shafts were there first, from the beginning, before there were any blocks. And maybe later came people who built blocks around the shafts to protect them from erosion and deterioration and pretty much damage and all this, like sand and garbage, whatever whatever is blown with the wind ends up in these shafts. And maybe that wasn't enough, and maybe they were building something like a mastaba or so. And maybe it developed a bit like almost like the official theory, where they say like first there was a mastaba, and then they built another mastaba on top, and another, and then you have these steps. Actually, this is a contradiction within my own theory, because I don't actually believe that they were building mastaba on top of mastaba. But I think maybe some people built like in a rectangular shape and flat, like what you call a mastaba, and others maybe built like a pyramid shape out of it. But the core structure, especially the substructure, is so similar that, you know, when I visit like a pyramid that is destroyed, and pretty much all of them are, and you don't see this typical pyramid shape, then it feels exactly like in a pyramid. You know, I mean, of course, everybody can go inside these pyramids that are officially open, like Dashur and some in Saqqara and of course Giza. And once you go down, it feels similar, actually. I mean, I have the same feeling that this is like from around the same time. And yeah, and this is what I was wondering, if there's actually a huge difference between the classic pyramid shape or a mastaba. I mean, we still don't know what the actual use was of these buildings, but yeah, and this is why I don't want to exclude this building like the Great Pyramid specifically, because of course you can easily say, yeah, but what about the Great Pyramid? It's all different. It's like all these like this huge grand gallery and this the alignments and so on. And yeah, that's true. It's like, of course, but it's just one of the pyramids from, I don't know the exact number, like 120 or something, or 115. I think it's close to 120. And from the, like, I think I visited like 90 pyramids now. And what is also worth mentioning is that this huge number comes into place because of the many, like, the satellite pyramids. For example, if you take Elisht, where we talked about last time, like the southern pyramid of Elisht, for example, that structure has like 9 or 10 satellite pyramids, and the same you have in South Saqqara with the pyramid of PP1, and every little pyramid, no matter how small it is, adds to this number. And the funny thing is that in this list of pyramids, there are also some mastabas, like the Mastaba Pharaoh is also mentioned there. And this is why, I mean, it's very confusing, especially if you like. Since there's not much information about the lesser known pyramids, you have to search for very old books from the beginning of Egyptology, and if you read carefully, you see that people label a structure as a pyramid or as a mastaba, and then ages later it changes. For example, in Abu Sir, there are so many pyramids, but like almost in the center, there's this place called Mastaba of Shepseskaf. And when you read like these old books like Lepsius or Borchardt, and they call it a pyramid. And actually, if you go down, it feels like a pyramid. You don't see the pyramid shape because the top is completely open. This is why I came to this thought that maybe there's not much of a difference between a pyramid and a mastaba.
Let me say my opinion. Mastabas is first very ancient form of royal burials in Egypt. It's a lot of mastabas exist, way more than pyramids, and they all completely different. No, they don't have shafts, and they have rectangular shape, but they don't have flat walls. It's like step walls around. So it looks like it was a yard surrounded with a fence wall of mud bricks. We did not use stone. It's all mud brick. And the structure of chambers, rooms inside, completely different. And it's we found like hundreds objects like this. We started from Abydos, from Abydos, and it's a lot of burials like this in Abydos. Next location is Nikhen city by Luxor, also very ancient structure. And there is ancient mastaba. There are ancient mastabas in Saqqara of first and second dynasties, and they all completely different, and they have nothing similar with pyramids. And it's very understandable, very transparent structures how ancient people built these burials. Next step, these shafts. These shafts were located mostly in Saqqara and one or two in Abu Sir, nowhere else. The Pyramid of Djoser actually is the structure over the shaft. And
Exactly.
in my opinion, Imhotep was the first person in the human history who was able to build dome over the shaft. This is what he did. He covered the shaft with a dome, and after they built these pyramids. Djoser pyramid was built like in few different periods, like 5 or 6, and it's not about steps. It doesn't look like they built first mastaba and after built another mastaba on top of it. No, they built small pyramid, after they make it bigger, bigger, and bigger, and after they built next steps. So it was different, and it took, of course, few hundred years. It was not during Djoser life. It was permanent construction for a couple hundred years. And also we have the same shaft nearby Unis pyramid, the shaft of Amen Tefnakht. The shaft is absolutely similar like shaft underneath the Djoser pyramids, but it doesn't have no pyramid. It's not covered with nothing, but it still has sarcophagus on the bottom of the shaft, and it's General Amen Tefnakht buried in there during the Sais period. So it's like 2,500 after Djoser. And this is absolutely similar shafts. Okay, Mastaba of Pharaoh, Mastaba of Shepseskaf and Saqqara. This is it calls only mastaba because it has a rectangular shape, but it's actually not. It's unfinished pyramid because he died young, and we didn't have time to build this pyramid how officially looks. But the structure it's completely different from pyramids and from mastabas because it's built from huge limestone blocks, way bigger than pyramids of Giza built. And the inner structure, like chambers, they all made from granite, and this granite is unfurnished. It looks like Asian structure, like Assyrian inside.
Yeah.
It's completely different. It has nothing similar with Great Pyramid or something. It looks like this structure was way older than anything, and after it was reused by Shepseskaf. They put this sarcophagus and used for another way. And it doesn't have no shaft. It's flat inside.
Okay.
So also we can't mix up Great Pyramid and Big Pyramids with rest of pyramids only because they have pyramid shape. It's absolutely different structures, absolutely different structures. So
you think so? You think so?
No, it's absolutely, it's exactly because
why is that?
Because the level of technology and knowledge needed to build the Great Pyramid completely different from the level of technology to build like small pyramid, satellite pyramid, or like these small pyramids in Saqqara and Abu Sir. It's completely different. It's like cargo cult, cargo cult, you know, when people copying something, what they see. You know, like people on islands during the Second World War, they copying American aircrafts, radio and stuff, building airplanes from the bushes, just try to imitate the form, but did not understand what's inside. This is what we have here, like for me. So we have 7 big pyramids, and it's completely different from rest 100 what exists in Egypt. And this shaft also, these shafts, what we see in Saqqara, they also way older, because underneath Pyramid of Djoser, it's not only this shaft, it's a huge underground city for many people. With underground tunnels and chambers, it's like 10 kilometers. Nearby, the southern shaft, southern tomb, and next is a labyrinth of Hatshepsut going towards Amen Tefnakht shafts and another 3 Persian shafts. So it all, like for me, it's whole Asian infrastructure, underground infrastructure, which was reused by ancient Egyptian, maybe in the ancient kingdom time. But it looks like people were living there for hundreds and hundred years before, and they were living underground and with chambers and at these tunnels. For what reason, I don't know. What could make people go live underground? Maybe it was weather condition or sun activity or something else, but it's definitely people were living at this underground city. And only after this, it was redone to burial purposes. So for me, it looks like this.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree on some points, but disagree on other points. I mean, but for example, I think too that I mean, it's not that I'm like protecting this thought or something, you know, but I have this feeling that these shafts and tunnels were there before. At least there's a possibility that that it could be that way. But for example,
it looks like this. You know, when I first got underneath Djoser pyramid, I knew what is it. You know, I knew all these structures, all these tunnels, chambers, because I have seen these blueprints before, and I had a picture before I got in. But when I got into this, I have completely different impression from blueprints. And it doesn't look like burial structure. It looks like living spaces. And all these tunnels, they completely different shape from this shaft. So you can definitely figure out, because this shaft in perfect shape, and it was completely different technology from tunnels. Tunnels was dig by hands. They don't have any shape. It's just a holes, like it's very understandable. But the shaft has perfect shaped walls and everything. It's straight and flat, which is and is like big. I don't say huge, but it's 30 meters deep. It's huge actually, and it's absolutely in good shape. And it was built in good shape, which these people, they could not do this underground. Also, this shaft is way better when Djoser pyramid itself. The technology was used for this shaft is completely different from the technology was used to build the Djoser pyramid, you know. So of course it looks like it was way before.
Yeah, I missed a part of it because the connection is a bit unstable.
Connection is unstable.
Yeah, a bit.
I say,
I mean, now
it
it works.
It looks like this shaft was there way before Pyramid of Djoser. So it was used before Djoser came there. And
Oh yeah.
it was in like for a few hundred years. Maybe this is the reason why these people from Abydos, with first dynasty, with pharaohs, they came over there to Memphis because it was ancient structures already there. And this is completely different from what we have in Abydos. In Abydos, we have primitive constructions like is mud bricks and nothing like serious except Assyrian. Rest is very understandable stuff. And here we see something what you can't easily explain. This shaft way definitely something what you can't easily explain. You know, when we talk about Amen Tefnakht shaft, yeah, you can say it was built in this time what we say. But still, there is some points what shows what it was older and it was reused by Amen Tefnakht. So, and you know, official sign, they don't say a lot about this because they only publish what they found. We found
Yes,
this.
of course. Yes, sure. I mean,
And
it's
it's
much
not
easier to tell you about something you know something about, except to say like, okay, we have no idea. No one wants to say that.
I don't think they say they have ideas. It's all also there's official theory actually from couple books, also not science books. It's books.
No, I mean, this is very interesting, actually. I mean, these books you just mentioned, it's like, you know, when you see how it works now with who is researching pyramids or these ancient structures, I mean, you have these both extremes. You have the academia on the one side and you have alternative researchers on the other side. But in the end, is that archaeology, this official theory, is built on these books, which are highly doubtful. I mean, no one can prove what anybody was writing that time.
No, these books they were written for easy explanation of what we see, and it was made like 80 years ago, right? So it was
Yes.
completely different world. People could not see what's where. Now it's a lot of people coming to see pyramids, and we have a lot of information on internet and stuff, so people can decide what they see. And of course, these books created for children in school, uh, and maybe it's good way because no, how you can explain what we see there? The easiest way to
Exactly.
say what we see, and it's the right way. For me, it's right way. It's easiest way. And what
It's easy.
evidence we have? What really evidence we have? Clear 100% evidence we have from ancient kingdom, from King Khufu, from this and that. So, and we don't have our clear 100% evidence.
Yeah.
We only suspect something, and you can't
Exactly.
teach people of your suspicion. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, it makes sense in a way because even like books from Herodotus or Manetho and so on, it's like there's also a bit of entertainment in this. You know, it's still done that way if you want, you know. Everybody's like trying to create
No,
this
this
mystery and this mythology and it's it's like watching an adventurous movie or something. It's a bit like, oh yes, this sounds like pirates or something, and I think it's very easy to adapt to this because anybody likes a good story, kids, old people,
yes, and
everybody.
what you're saying. These ancient Greeks, what you're talking about, which you write about this, it also was like ancient media. It's not
Yeah,
science. But people
exactly.
who did science, they did different conclusion, like Plinius, and it was a lot of people who was working in Egypt in with Alexandria Library, which
Oh yeah.
knew they knew a lot of things about this. So, but we don't know where it works because we were not so popular. We know only popular story. When you
Yes.
so it's
Yeah,
like when you
exactly.
come to Egypt, what you have to see there, and of course you have to have some fairy tale. People be
Hmm.
attracted to see what it is. So
Excellent. Absolutely. I agree. And this is why these, it's not why these structures are interesting, but somehow I got interested in these destroyed structures, which are not as spectacular as the bent pyramid or the Great Pyramid, but I think they're still pretty interesting. But there's one point
so
I I disagree with your opinion, what you said before about the shafts, that there are no shafts except in Saqqara and in I mean, yeah, okay, there's no shaft maybe in this Mastaba pharaoh, but these
no,
shafts I'm
where
talking
else?
about, what?
Where else?
I mean, in Lisht are countless shafts. In Abu Ruwash are countless shafts. Not every shaft is the same, and not everything is like spectacular. But you have these shafts, and they have
No, yeah,
tunnels leading from these shafts, and you have
but way
rooms
small.
with.
Oh, no, way completely different shape and way smaller. It's of course people could do stuff like this. There is shaft tombs. It's a lot of shaft tombs in Nakada. It's Dendera temple.
Yeah.
Again, it's around Papetos. It has small shafts like 1 meter by 1 meter go deep, and it's a room chamber. Or this is actually some kind of mastabas too, but not for the king, for regular people. There is a lot of shafts in Meidum by pyramid. You know, when you go
Yeah,
here
yeah, yeah.
to the
Lahun
field,
too.
Lahun too, but it's
Pretty
nothing
much
similar
everywhere.
with the shafts over there in Saqqara. And two big shafts, you mean Abu Rash, Jedefre Pyramid, and Zeviat El Arian.
No, no, no,
It's
no, no. This is not what I mean. I mean for example, in Abu Rawash, there are like two areas which, I mean, there's, I mean, it's hard to tell now because the hill where the pyramid is on top is
yeah,
used as a quarry for hundreds, maybe thousands of years. So half of the hill is gone, and they're still working there right now. And
yes, yes, and
but
you know, it was a huge pyramid over there too, which is completely destroyed. It's nothing left. And now it's something parking garage for heavy trucks right on the top of this pyramid. So,
no, that's
yeah,
true.
but I did not see the shaft the same shape like in Saqqara over there.
No,
It
no, no,
was,
no, no, no. But you're right. At that point, yeah, you're absolutely right. Not in this size, like this. I don't know the exact name of this shaft in front of Una's pyramid. I don't know these
I'm
names of these kings or something. And actually, to be honest, all these names give me a headache because there are some names are like like unpronounceable. They're so long.
yeah,
Like for example, when it comes to these names, like something like in Abu Sir, this Petach Shepsis is something like, okay, this is as close as it gets that I can remember these names, but they're just too many, and but there are so many shafts that are not as big as these shafts, like the southern shaft and the shaft under the step pyramid or Abu Rawash or Zawiyat Aryan or something. But you also have these things, for example, if you take the southern pyramid of Zawiyat al Aryan, you have a shaft on top of the pyramid which leads down to this chamber, which also is connected to these so-called magazines. Then if you switch and go to Saqqara, which I've been yesterday, I saw this thing yesterday. There's this pyramid of, oh my God, wait a second, what is it called? Oh my God, I'm missing the name. It's very close to Una's pyramid. Not Shepseskaf. Sechem exactly. And this is a very good example because first of all, you also have these so-called magazines in there, and you have these shafts on top which lead down to the core structure. And by the way, another thing about these shafts, I mean, I saw the videos, but I haven't been myself into these endless, like big structures, like these tunnels under the step pyramid. But for example, these magazines under, oh my God, what was it called again? In Saqqara? Sechem head, exactly. Yeah. So if you look into these magazines, for example, you have, it looks like very rough. And as you said, like round, it's not like a really straight lines or something. But there's so much destruction in there, and also lots of water damage in these things. So these ancient walls, which I guess we both agree that they are maybe older than the pyramid structures, I think that those shafts and tunnels once were straight, and it was all deteriorated. For example, same thing with the southern pyramid in Zawiat El Aryan. I mean, in both of those pyramids, you found these stone vessels, right? Not you. I mean, they found countless of these ancient vessels, which are officially labeled as pre-dynastic, right?
These stone vessels were found in Djoser pyramids, like over 40,000 vessels.
Exactly. But also in the southern pyramid of Zawiat El Aryan, and also in
Zawiat El Aryan pyramid calls Haba, Pyramid of Haba.
Yeah, and nobody knows.
It has the same structure like Sikkim Head Pyramid in Saqqara. And
exactly.
The core, if we don't talk about these magazines, the core, the main chamber, it goes from, there is huge structure in Sahag. It calls Mastaba of Beit Halaf, and this is Mastaba of Djoser. And not many people know about this. It's huge mud brick structure, and it has the core where it has a chamber with limestones. It's it's a pit. It's not shaft, and it's huge. Not many people were aware, and I think it looks like everything goes from out there, from that structure. Almost a similar structure nearby Nepka Mastaba. It's all like third dynasty. It's not far from Abydos, a little bit up north, like 19 kilometers.
What is it, Sohag? Is it
it's
Sohag?
Right by, yeah, it's Sohag. It's right by airport, you know. It has this fence of airport, like right on the edge of this field where these mastabas are. So it looks like it goes from out there. And yes, the structure in very bad shape, but it looks like they never been in good shape because the geometry is not perfect. It's only on blueprints you can see it's everything proper, but at real, it's not. And this look like it was built by Asian builders. It's nothing special over there.
Yeah.
I was there, you know, this southern pyramid of Zawiat El Aryan, I was there. And And at real, it's for me it look regular. It's small, and it's small copy of Djoser pyramid. First thing you have to see is Djoser complex, because it has huge galleries with magazines. It's like few
Mm-hmm.
kilometers. Yeah, it's only a little bit around. Same like a
Mm-hmm.
Sikkim head pyramid. And
Yeah.
the same structure is Serapeum, actually, with these magazines,
If you
but a little
want, yeah.
bit bigger.
Of course, the dimensions are different, but the style is similar, I guess. I mean, it's hard to imagine, for example, the Sechem head pyramid, especially the chamber where this alabaster box is inside.
Yeah.
It looks like a cave, basically. It looks like super rough, but I think
Maybe it was cave, but
it's
this
destruction.
destruction, because when we get in, it was few huge stones on the
Mm,
floor, falling from the
exactly.
top. And this is all of humidity. It's not like water
Yes,
damage, but humidity get into the limestone and it's weak and it starts falling down. So this is what we see.
exactly. Hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting, but again, it
Yeah,
has nothing similar with Mastaba of Shepseskaf. It's completely different high technology structure. And this Sikkim head and Haba pyramids way pretty like primitive,
maybe. But the thing is, like, it's very hard to imagine because you have to imagine so much because of the destruction and the erosion. And especially when it comes to the interior of the pyramids, because you think that the interior was protected. But if, I mean, humidity comes from a water source of some sort, no matter if it comes from groundwater or something, but some humidity damaged these pyramids. And I think before that destruction happened, maybe it wasn't like a precision thing like the Great Pyramid, but I think it was more precise than what you see now. And this is actually to
Yeah,
come
it
back to
was,
the to
yes,
all of these shafts. There
it
is
was
some
more precise.
precision. I mean, there's I
Uh,
call it like accuracy. These square shafts that I saw like countless. And again, Abu Rawash is a good example because you have hundreds of these shafts there. It's like
yeah,
in the north of this pyramid, and in the east, like northeast, is also another field with lots of mastabas, which remind me of Giza actually. And you have in every mastaba, same in Saqqara, same in Giza, you have a rectangular shaft, maybe sometimes two or three, leading into the same structure. And what 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 like why I became interested in this is there are some shafts that are really rough and small and not really accurate, but you have some that are pretty accurate. You cannot compare this with precision objects like these stone vessels or something. But if you think about cutting a shaft, why does it have to be rectangular? Why does it have to be vertical? And then these right angles, the chambers, columns, all made out of the same material, carved out of the rock. I think this accuracy is somehow connected to these pyramids or mastabas or whatever you want to call them.
yeah,
That's
of
my
course, because everything we see there, it's first time in human history. So people who did it, they had good example, but we did not understand the simple things, the technology, because you have these pyramids in Giza, they don't have water damages, all
true.
why? Because it was limestone from Tura, different kind of stone. It's not enough just dig a shaft in the
Yeah.
plateau. You have to
That's true.
finish it with special kind of stone to keep it off humidity. The stone which can hold humidity. And this is what we see everywhere. The same, this structure, Sinuser tomb in Abydos. It dig
Abydos.
into the rock. And they built with a tunnel, and they finished it with Tur limestone. They did not leave raw walls because they're gonna destroy. They knew it. So, and people who can't afford to build this good stuff, they just dig the hole, rectangular shape or square shape, and that's it.
But anyways, let's say you're someone who can't afford these fancy structures. Wouldn't it be easier to just dig a shaft that is not rectangular? Is much easier. I mean, for example, I have a good like a comparison, take the Serapeum. And I mean, just the tunnels. Look at the accuracy of these tunnels, which is the same limestone, like what they call the Tomb of Tea, which is like a few hundred meters to the north. And if you go down there and you squeeze down this hole and you go into this tunnel, there you see the difference. I mean, this is so rough. This is how I imagine, like, this is how we build tunnels now, actually. It's like the space has just to be big enough to put through whatever you want. Something,
Yep.
I mean, some equipment or people or whatever. But you're not carefully putting these right angles, or, I mean, okay, the Serapeum is not, these are not square shafts. It's round, but the accuracy is a completely different game.
We don't know how Serapeum was when it was built, because what we see now, it's a lot of water damages. It's a lot of destructed. Now,
yes,
what shape these tunnels have now, it wasn't like this when it was built. It was different.
Oh, it was, yeah,
And
absolutely.
And we don't know how it was, because it was in use for thousands and thousands of years, and it was reconstructed many times.
Absolutely. I agree. And you have the same kind of water, or what, let's say, the same kind of erosion than as you have in the Pyramid of Saqqara. But
Yes.
still, even if you have these completely eroded structures, but there are always parts that are kind of pretty much accurate. Like, for example, the entrance, if you take the entrance shaft of the Saqqara pyramid and compare this to the entrance shaft of the Serapeum, I see a similarity to the walls in Zawiat al-Aryan or this pyramid in Abu Rawash. You have the same accuracy where you cut huge limestone walls in these angles.
It's not the same, Frank. It's not the same. Now, we have very fresh blueprints, the scanning of Saqqara pyramid, and it shows how it was. It's absolutely not the same shape how it was in Great Pyramid or in Abu Rawash Pyramid. It's all curved. It's not aligned. It's completely different. I maybe
but it's good to have different opinions, right?
Yeah, but it's visible. I can send you. It's Frank Manier just posted his article about Saqqara. So, and it's visible how different. I send you right now.
But
very understandable how it was made.
No, yeah, I see it roughly, but the thing is, like, I'm not talking about the whole structure or something, but if I see these cuts, how the walls were cut, I see so many of the similarities between things that you cannot compare. For example, take what I'm talking about is take the walls of the pyramid in Abu Rawash, even if it's completely destroyed and there's so much erosion, but you can still see the accuracy of the wall. And the same is behind the second pyramid in Giza. You have a wall that is over 200 meters long, and there are parts that are completely destroyed and fallen off and so on. But if you're standing next to this wall and look along this thing, I see the same accuracy as in the shaft, in the entrance shaft that leads down to the Serapeum or this Sechem head pyramid. You know, it's not like I don't want to compare these structures, but these features on like how the plateau was cut like butter. This is where I see some similarities.
Like for me, it's different because the size is different, precision is different, everything is different. It's imitation.
Okay.
And when people want to imitate something, they see something beautiful, they want to make something like this, but they don't know how. This is how it looks for me.
Okay, no, of course. Fair
and
enough.
we don't know what time it was made, you know, when it was.
Absolutely. But I mean, part of the reason why we don't know is no matter if you're just like a hobby researcher or if you're an academic studying this for years, what's really one of the biggest problems is there were not just ancients who built this and then a pharaoh reusing it. There were so many people reusing it and you cannot tell them apart. You know, same with the repair work. You have, like, for example, Djoser's pyramid. If you go on this, what side is this? I think the east side. This is where where the official story tells you, okay, first it was a mastaba, and then they were extending it, and then they were creating this pyramid shape. What I see is something completely different, in my opinion, and again, it's just my opinion. I don't think what we see on top is the real structure, is some repair work. Whoever, I don't care for the moment. If it was Imhotep or whoever, if it was the whatever, it's not important for me right now. I see many different styles of repair work. And some really ancient ones, some newer ones, and even modern ones from the recent years. And once the dust covers everything, it's very hard to tell them apart. I mean, archaeologists, they should know because they were sometimes part of this reconstruction, but reconstruction that was happening hundreds of years ago, it's very hard to tell it apart.
No, it's there is documents about this because Djoser pyramid was reconstructed during the Saqqara dynasty by Psusenis, Pharaoh Psusenis, and we built first, I think, first museum in human history. Why? Because at this time, people invented money, and they start collecting money for the entrance to this complex. You know, you say reuse, reuse. Yes, people can reuse, but it's very difficult to find out how you can reuse Great Pyramid. What you can do in Great Pyramid. You can't use it for nothing. Yes, you found the small tomb or something, you can use it again, but huge pyramid, you can't use it. Huge with shaft in Abu Rawash, you can't reuse it because you don't have ability to build something on top of it. You can use only smaller structures. You can use it again, again.
What they did.
Yes, this is what we see. And when we start reconstruction, when we got money, so with Menkaure pyramid, also was reconstructed. We put new coffin, new sarcophagus. we put new body and we start collect money from people who comes there. So, and this we know definitely because it's from the sources. And before money was invented, it was nobody could use it because you can do nothing. It's for what? For the reason.
I mean, people come up with so many crazy ideas. You know, for example, I could go inside and find this granite box in any kind of shape, and I think like, okay, my dad just died, so I just put his body there and carve his name and say like, okay, this is like a structure for my dad.
No, this
I
is
mean,
where, of course, with Psusenis, he reused Merneptah sarcophagus, and Merneptah
yes.
reused this sarcophagus from ancient kingdom. So, and all inscriptions inside this sarcophagus. So you can see 3 stages of usage of this box. Of course, because it's easier. Sarcophagus is small. You can take it, you can put it in another place, you can write something. But what you can do with Great Pyramid, it's huge structure and absolutely uncomfortable for living, to put the body inside. You can't use it for anything.
Yeah, but
It's
I mean, you can also. I agree. It's much more like more unlikely than a smaller structure. But the thing is, when it comes to explanations, it's so easy. If you don't have any explanation, you can always say they used it for ritual reasons, religious reasons. This is always an easy, like it's like carte blanche. You know, you have no idea what it is. It's a ritual. It's a religious ritual, or some. What I also disagree with is, okay, this pyramid. Yeah, it's an unfinished pyramid. Like, I don't see it. I don't see it. Why polish the casing stones when it is unfinished? It's like, for me, it doesn't make sense. What I see, destruction everywhere, and that means those structures were built.
Maybe some of them were built and some of them did not finish, so wasn't finished. We don't know.
No, of course not. But it's so nice to speculate.
Oh yeah, sometimes.
Right? I mean that's what we're doing. So no, I think it's very good to have this kind of exchange, no matter like I mean, as I told you last time, you know, I'm trying. I don't have the time to watch everything, to read everything, but whatever is in my power and like my time schedule is allowing it. I try to watch it. I try to read it, and so on. And
now,
you cannot.
Now, I think we can figure out the age because we have some kind of analysis what we can do with stones to figure out when the stone saw the sunshine last time. So if you take a piece
yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm missing the word of this technology, like what this analysis is called, but is more precise than
something. It's hard word, but the sense of this word. So we can, if you can take a piece of soil from underneath the sarcophagus and Serapeum, you can say a lot about this. Same thing in Assyrian. You can take a piece from somewhere inside and you can figure out when it was built.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, maybe it's more accurate than, for example, radiocarbon dating or something. But the thing is that I still
radiocarbon dating, you can't date stones. You can only date something food or something from animals.
Organic material.
So remains.
But
And this method, you can date the surface of the stone, which is important. When this sarcophagus saw the sunshine last time, you can say exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But nobody does this.
I mean, some people do. I mean, I remember, I think it was Robert Temple in one of his books. He mentioned this method.
Method maybe, but nobody take a piece of sarcophagus for analysis, you know, because it's hard. How you to get a piece of this sarcophagus? I don't know how to cut it. It's basalt or granite or something, and it's not easy. You cannot get permission officially. This is we know definitely, and it's not that easy like for limestone. Of course, you can take a piece of limestone from everywhere. It's very easy, but not for granite.
No, but I mean, for example, there are these. There's this group of. I mean, it's not a group that is connected, but I connect them somehow because they have similarities in South Saqqara and Dashur, and even one in Hawara, where they have these quartzite boxes inside, which are different than all the other ones. They are bigger, they are like massive, and it's not like a room where they put the box inside. So more or less, they have a room, and the box is like the size of the room. There's no space between the box and the walls. You know what I mean, right?
Yes,
and
yes.
and for example, there are like, for example, the southern pyramid in South Saqqara. The one is, what is it called? Khenja. Then there's Amen Tefnakht in Dashur. And for example, this is a piece of quartzite.
Yeah.
And this material, this is so hard to work with because it's like not all the time, but you have this kind of other material, like a kind of like a conglomerate. And this makes it even harder to cut like as granite or basalt. And
yes, absolutely.
And the thing is that even, for example, this piece here, this is from the site of Khenja. And the thing is, this is not like, it has no ancient surface or anything. There are so many broken pieces, splinters, big ones, small ones, in all kinds of colors and composition of the minerals, that I think you can, and the archaeologists, they have access to the pieces from the actual boxes or the whatever kind of structures are in there. So you don't necessarily have to destroy something or like hammer something out or something. You can just look closely and take a piece of this, what is used, like what is a part of a box or some column or something. I mean, if you want,
what you're talking about, this is the most important. You have to take a piece from existing part underground.
Absolutely.
And what you see outside, it's already not working. It's gonna say when this stone saw the sunshine last time, which was yesterday.
Of course.
So
no,
you
that's,
have to.
That's true. That's true. But the thing is, like, I'm not an archaeologist. I'm not the one who has access to these sites. But these people who are in charge, who have access, it just needs the will to do it. You know, if you have the will to do it, then you collect these pieces. Even if you don't have the money to analyze it now, then you protect it somewhere in the dark and keep it until some sponsor comes up and you have the analysis. Oh
no, maybe we will do something this year. Okay, Frank, we have to finish our talk for today, but we're gonna talk more next time.
Sure.
So, guys, thank you for watching, and like and subscribe our channel. Thank you.
All right.
Okay,
So
I'm
much.
gonna tell